Alright guys, so there I was looking at Destiny Trials report. I was taking a look at the current meta in terms of weapon usage, and I scrolled over to the PlayStation page, and to my surprise I saw this weapon in there that you just never ever see on PC, and that would be Drang. That's right guys, Drang. So today's video we are focusing on Drang, and I thought that I would pair it up with the revoker since that was obviously the most common weapon that it was paired with. So I looked through all the weeks basically, and Drang is a consistent appearance on the list for console, and it's never used on PC. Now obviously I think there's a input difference here that makes all of the difference in terms of why Drang is so well used on PC, or sorry, on console and not on PC, and that is obviously input device. On mouse and keyboard, hand cannons are still incredibly strong, and basically on PC, hand cannons like Dire Promise and Spare Rations and Waking Vigil, they basically are more effective than something like a Drang if you're using mouse and keyboard. Now obviously if you're on a controller it's a completely different story, especially on console with the amount of flinch that you receive from auto rifles, the lower field of view, and of course the 30 frames per second. That means when you're being sprayed by an auto rifle, it's very difficult to then land 3 headshots with a hand cannon. Now on PC it's a different story, with obviously the higher FOV, increased frame rate, and of course a mouse and keyboard being very strong in combination with hand cannons. That's the only reason why hand cannons are still in the meta on PC, and that is because obviously the mouse and keyboard difference. But that doesn't mean that Drang is bad on PC. Now maybe on mouse and keyboard sidearms aren't the greatest, at least that's what I've been told. I'm obviously a controller noob. LOL aim assist by the way. So for me, I thought, you know what, let me just use this loadout, Drang and revoker, and see how we do. So I've got highlights from 2 matches here back to back. So it'd be interesting just to show them and have a little commentary behind them, because 2 reasons really. One, you never really see me use a sniper or a sidearm, and you know, the other reason obviously is to see how this meta loadout from console holds up on PC when being used by a controller player. Now there's a couple of other things I talk about here, and that is the difference between controller on PC and console. Now the main differences are simply the field of view and the frame rate. Higher frame rate and better field of view equals more stability, more aim assist, everything is just easier. And I suppose that really does go especially for something like the revoker. I'm not someone who snipes very often, but I was still managing to get plenty of sniper kills even with little to no practice sniping on a controller. So obviously I'm not gonna try and brag about my sniping skills here, because I don't really think it's that impressive, to be honest, but it's obviously, you know, effective, and it's obviously fun to show off a different sort of playstyle from myself. I get so many comments, all you do is use a shotgun, blah blah blah. Here's the thing, I mean, it's true, all I do is use a shotgun, but there's one simple reason for that, and this is just a personal style of play choice I've always had, even before I was a content creator. I used to play Call of Duty, which is what I grew up playing. Obviously that's where my FPS background really comes from. I was always a very aggressive run and gun type of player. That's just always how I've played the game, and with that reason in mind, shotgunning always is, you know, the best choice for me. You know, I like to get in there. But you know what, I realized something with these 2 games that I played using revoker on PC on controller. You can actually get really aggressive with a sniper. You can just hold really tight angles and obvious little angles at close range and still manage to do pretty well. Maybe it's because of the low zoom scope, the aim assist, whatever it is, but it's just, it feels so powerful. And like, when I was using this, I was like, why do I put myself to the trouble of shotgunning on controller when I could just be doing this? But then obviously I previously mentioned, you know, my preferred style of play, that really does come into it. In the end, I just prefer to be a more aggressive player. Now obviously, like I just said, you can be aggressive, but this is quick play. In something like Trials, for example, I think you would obviously have to play a little bit slower if you're using something like revoker, especially against players using shotguns. That's just the nature of, you know, the 2 weapons, one's for long range, one's for close range. And in situations like that, I would always default to a shotgun, because that's just, you know, I'm more comfortable there, you know. Not only that as well, when I'm playing Trials, I'm usually always helping someone try to go flawless or get some loot or whatever, so that also comes into it. Now we can have a little bit of a focus on the actual gameplay now. Obviously I've given you a little bit of a background, my opinions on sniping and controller and all of that stuff. But here we've got a pretty interesting match where I think it's coming to an end. But I really want to know how many kills I managed to get here, because I felt like I slayed out pretty well. And this was my first game using this loadout. Got a sentinel coming here with a shield, but unfortunately for him the shield cannot block the suppressor grenade. And that was a nice little double body, two-piece. Obviously, one thing I didn't mention up until now, weapons of light combined with revoker. Oh boy, it's like running around with golden gun for, you know, as long as you want really, or as long as you can keep getting weapons of light. Very, very disgusting, man. It was just crazy. At certain points I'd get weapons of light and I would just be walking around the map ADS looking for someone's foot to shoot. Now obviously we lost this one. I did pretty good, but we lost the game, which is obviously always unfortunate. Doesn't really matter in quick play though, to be fair. And 49 defeats, not bad. Not bad for my first game on this loadout. Now we've gone straight into another match. I think we're on Solitude. And I just want to comment on the Drang itself. It feels very, very, very powerful. There is something about the Drang, and I can see now, having used it, I can see now why it's up there in the meta list on Trials of War and all of that. I think it's kind of like, I have this same theory on Gnawing Hunger. Gnawing Hunger has really, really good hit registration and very tight bullet grouping. I feel like Drang sort of has the same feel on, you know, on the sidearm side of things. Oh my god, pun intended, by the way. It just, the hit registration felt incredibly consistent. I would always hit my headshots, even at further ranges. You'd be hitting a solid 51 to the head. And mind you, my Drang right here has Swashbuckler and Disruption Break, which is kind of random. But Swashbuckler on a sidearm is pretty lethal. And if I could get Swashbuckler times 5, you'd be doing 68 to the head, which obviously is a 3 headshot kill. And when you stack that with Weapons of Light, you'll be doing 91 to the head. I think I might have 1 or 2 instances where I managed to make that happen, but 91 to the head with the sidearm, making it a 1 headshot, 2 body shot kill for a 3 tap. This is a fast firing sidearm, guys. You get put down incredibly quickly. And yeah, I'd really like Swashbuckler because obviously combined with a pretty decent magazine size, I think of 18, the Drang is capable of just wiping out groups of enemies. And say you sidearm melee the first guy, like the second guy's in for a world of pain. And you know, obviously with each kill, Swashbuckler continues to proc. You can see here we're going in with the revoker, and yeah, it's powerful, boys. It's powerful. The headshots come very willingly, although I did miss there, and then I got chaperoned in the face. Ironic, I know. But yeah, the headshots come naturally, man. You can see there 68 to the head. The hit registration, the range. I think the sight of this weapon might have a lot to do with it. It's very, very clean, very, very simple. Hitting someone with revoker to the body, switching to the Drang, it's just instant death, more or less. Very, very easy and reliable. And honestly, if you're on a controller and you're looking to be as competitive as possible, there is nothing wrong with this loadout, even on PC. As long as you're a good controller player, or even a decent controller player, you don't have to be like amazing. You're going to do very well with this setup. And if you're like me and you're getting like 3 or 4 bubbles a game, it's like having, you know, 4 golden guns a game pretty much, because revoker is essentially like golden gun when you get Weapons of Light, except it has a massive scope. Kind of disgusting. 213 to the thigh. You hate to see it, or maybe you'll love to see it, who knows. What do you guys think of me sniping? Do you want to see me snipe more? I promise I won't cheese with Weapons of Light next time. Deal? Oh my god, it's so dirty, dude. Alright, managed to get the dub this time. Nice little victory for the boys. Let's see what our final score was. 48 this time. Hey, we'll take it. 48 defeat game. So we had a 49 defeat game where we lost, and a 48 defeat game where we won. And those 2 games were back to back as well. So it's safe to say that this loadout is very, very strong, no matter what platform you're on. Only thing you need to make sure is that the sticks are plugged in. Although I'm sure some slayers out there will make this loadout work with mouse and keyboard 100%. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.